Hey guys, it's Brent here from Dark Force Custom Sabers again, and today I got a new one for you, a new build, and I think you guys are gonna dig this one. So, as you can see, we have a very sleek, custom black finish on this hilt. It's powder coated matte black. A little history behind this design, or a little bit of a context, I guess, if you will. You might notice a few things. Uh, First off, this saber is kind of reminiscent to that of Kylo Ren's base design, minus the cross guards, of course. Um, so I kind of wanted to do something along the lines of that, and I feel like I got fairly decent in terms of vibe and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of the direction I wanted to take with this one. It turned out fairly well, I think, and yeah, this video will also be used as the instructional guide. So for the customer that buys the saber, they won't be completely lost and out of their mind if they don't know where to start on this guy. So it's really simple. This guy runs a PRIZM 5.1 by Plecter Labs. It has a single accent LED within the chassis, which I'll open this up here in a minute and show you how to do all that and show you the features and whatnot. So it has the PRIZM 5.1. It does run a custom NeoPixel blade. I build these here custom in my shop as well. Comes standard on every custom saber I build. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the guts of this saber. So, you'll want to use a small 1/8 inch hex key. It will be supplied with the saber as well as the charger. Basically, there's a screw right there, and you want to make gentle movements when you're screwing or unscrewing things. You'll see the screw right there. That's the one that you're going to want to undo, and just maybe a half turn, quarter turn, if that. Doesn't need to be much, just enough so this guy can slide back like that, revealing the nice aluminum chassis. So here's the guts of the saber. Pretty standard. This does come with a R.I.C.E port here. I don't know if you can see that. Basically, that's just kind of loosely held in there. Wasn't really trying to go too Mandalorian on that, if you will. But basically, that's for if you just want to like do some tweaking to the board without having to access the SD card, which you can obviously still access if you desire. You can tweak your settings through the R.I.C.E port and whatnot like that. That will not be covered in this video. You can find other documentation on that online and through the Plecter Labs manuals. So I will note though that this soundboard will come custom preloaded with the Unhinged font from Mad Cow, Genesis Custom Sabers. Awesome sabersmith. It comes with and a few others as well, which I will document in the description if you are interested in looking at those. Obviously, all 6 sound fonts that this PRIZM has loaded up, it can be changeable, edited, whatever you want to do, it can do it. And yeah, so that's the inside of the saber. If I pull the kill key, this is the kill key here. Very loud, uses a premium bass speaker from Tim over at the Custom Saber Shop. You'll see the little accent LED kind of blink there. I can turn out this light. You'll be able to see that a little bit better, right? Just kind of a little something. Kind of adds a little bit more flair. It also matches the powder coated red pommel, the trans red. Very pretty, very cool. The saber is not meant to look pristine, obviously, so I had to kind of figure out ways of texturizing and making it kind of look weathered, but not exactly completely weathered. So that's why, you know, you'll find that some of the designs aren't perfect and matching, because I felt like if this was something that was it's obviously is handcrafted, but if it was something that was built on a desolate planet out there or whatever, that was kind of ancient, it would have a rough but still modern spin on it. So just would like to kind of point out that in case you are looking at it and you're like, well, it's not absolutely perfect. Well, it wasn't designed to be. So that being said, I have 6 sound fonts loaded up on this. By default, these PRIZMs usually come with 3. I switched them all out for different ones, and those are what is going to be available on the card. Again, like I said, I'll leave those in the description. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to put this Killkey back in temporarily, put our bottom half back on, and this is important. Take your hex key. I'm using the one in my shop right now, but you can use the one I will supply you with. And it's just a gentle turn. You don't need to do much. After it's lined up, just a gentle turn. Don't want to crank down on it. It's aluminum. It does thread, and it can flatten the threads very easily and kind of warp those. So you don't want to do that. Basically, let's get the blade in here. This is the blade. It's a NeoPixel blade. I use a 4-pin aviation connector in all my blades currently. There is, let's see if I can get this on camera. You'll see 4 pins in there. These 4 pins need to be aligned with the blade pins. And as long as those are aligned, everything should work fine and great. Perfect. So you don't want to misalign the pins in a way where they're not connecting, because you will not get proper ignition. The blade or the saber will load up like you just heard a minute ago, but it won't fully activate the blade. So you'll feel it kind of slide in there. I like to point out, I didn't do this in my last video, and I feel like I need to point this out because it offered a little bit of confusion to some folks. When you line up the sockets, you'll feel the blade kind of just slightly sink in there. It doesn't require a lot of pressure at all. The blade retention screw is right there. Again, same kind of concept as this threading right there. You don't want to necessarily crank down on it. Just maybe a couple turns, just until it's tight enough. There you go. And you'll be good to go. I mean, this guy is not going anywhere. It's totally dual worthy. The only thing I'd like to kind of point out is the switches. It does use 2 dual tactile switches that kind of give this saber its own unique flair. Those are pretty robust. I wouldn't recommend necessarily putting your hands right over that, not for durability's sake or anything, but just because you might accidentally turn on or off the saber depending on what you're doing with it, if you're swinging around the saber. So we're going to load it up there, and we'll just fire this guy right up. I have I don't know what the name of this font is currently, but now we have a nice bright purple blade. Now my shop is fully lit right now, so I can't completely show you this in the dark, but I can shut this light off here. And there you have it. And obviously, you get the full range of effects that you would get from a NeoPixel blade used in tandem with the Plecter Labs board. It's very awesome. It's so fun. These things are so cool. Okay, let's see. Let me load up another one here. And to do that, I'd like to point out, if you're not familiar with the Plecter Labs boards, such as the PRIZM and the Crystal Focuses and Petite Croutons and whatnot, this left-hand button here is the activation switch, or the auxiliary switch, my mistake. So a single tap and hold allows you to switch into fonts. Now this font here, the one with the little zipping kind of sound, is the main font for the saber. It gives you the Unhinged sound font is the one this is, and it gives you this nice bright red blade. Obviously, it's an RGB compatible board. This blade has full color capabilities. I think it has 13 different color profiles that I've already kind of distinguished onto on the board. Most of the stuff I just kind of left factory, but you have the blaster defection in there, everything you'd want. And I don't know if I can do this, but it's such a short amount of space here. There you go, there's some swing sounds for you. I have them adjusted fairly high because that's just how I always kind of customize all my builds. They're meant for swinging and dueling and stuff like that, so keep that in mind. If you need to adjust that, feel free. And then obviously this button here controls the activation deactivation. And you can also color switch at tandem by pressing the auxiliary switch down and the activation switch at the same time. So if you don't like a particular color, no worries. You can switch right through them with these PRIZM boards. So there we have a nice green blade. Let's say we want something that is, I don't know, a blue. So we'll activate that guy again. Press and hold down these two guys. You'll see it kind of start changing shades of green here. Now we're into more of a teal. That's kind of a nice little cayenne color. So let's go with that. So now we completely just changed the color. And you could cycle through all 13 color profiles, which are obviously customizable, once again. And yeah, so say we like that, bam, it's automatically saved. It'll reoccur every time until we change that font or the color profile again while the saber is turned on. So there you have it. So that's pretty much it feature-wise for this saber. It's a lot of flexibility. It's kind of a lot of saber for you, but it's man, is it super cool. The only other things I would like to point out is I don't warrant you to take apart any of these other screws or do any work on this yourself. I cover a warranty on my sabers. Please see the product description for more details on that, because it's a little bit too much to cover in this video. But if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And yeah, so this is the new build, and I hope whoever gets it enjoys it. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.